Hello, and welcome to Ram and Goat Astrology podcast with me, Helena, and
Me, Laura Lee. Hello.
that was my first time introducing us.
Usually the Aries has to, but how did that feel?
Crazy. Fun. I got a little nervous first, but then, yeah, I like it.
It's
I don't
interesting
mind
how
that.
you can just change one little thing and it shifts the energy just
Yeah.
by you going first.
That's so crazy. Well, today we are talking about what's coming up for the month of March.
It's time.
Yeah, it is time. I had no idea. You reminded me that it's time. February is almost over. Today is the
Can you believe?
27th of February.
Can you believe how fast
No,
these first 2 months of this year have gone? I feel
no.
very, I don't even know the word for it. Like time is really getting weird. But Saturn's going through Pisces, so I guess that makes sense, huh?
Yeah, and this Pisces season has got me feeling very, very porous and very much not in the physical world, and where time exists and anything physical exists. Like it's been very sort of like a dream world. In reality, it's been hard to grab things in the real world and like get things going and starting things. And it took me a day to realize that it was Pisces season, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and be in this Pisces season now and enjoy it, and not try and push myself to do all of this, to start like projects and be active, because Pisces just wants us to, it's that last rest before we go into Aries late March. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get that go juice turned on real fast. This is not the go juice time.
No.
This is still creation mode. This is peaceful, healing energy. And I feel the Aries coming, right? I can sense it. I know that fireball is ready to launch, and it's time to just finish up things. Pisces wants you to finish up the projects you had going or wrap things up. It wraps up that zodiac energy. I've been feeling it, the Pisces energy for sure. Did you know that I spin fiber into yarn?
No, but I'm not surprised.
I have a carder machine and it crank a handle, and it's two basically drums that spin towards each other and kind of brush the wool or the alpaca or whatever fiber I'm dealing with into a bat, and then that bat turns into roving, and that roving turns into yarn, and then I knit it or I crochet it. Well, I have not used these tools for a long time, and yet about 2 days ago the girls wanted to come out here and watch a movie, and someone in my brain went, it's time. And so I moved my stuff around and I got all settled and got my supplies out, and I just cleaned up wool and brushed that wool, and it was so fun and healing. And at the end I have these big fluffy bats of wool that are just fun to put against your face and feel this softness. And
Yeah, but such a good metaphor for Pisces energy, because I see it very much like that time when you receive messages and you like weaving dreams. I'm thinking about when you're spinning that wool, that you later can, and then you use the things that you wove to actually make like tangible things. But now is like a time to receive messages from dreams, like when we're sleeping, and also when we're awake, like from that sort of worldly place. And Pisces, yeah, Pisces is also like to like let go of the last things that you don't need, because it's also like the very last zodiac, so it's death in a way before we start anew with a new astrological year starting with Aries.
it's interesting just thinking about how much Pisces energy I've been in this whole past weekend. We renovated, my three girls share a room, and we renovated their whole room just by, new coats of paint, new everything, but we took everything out of their room and covered up this fish, whale, turtle mural I did for them probably 5 years ago, and they had outgrown it now, which I'm fine with. So now everything's really nice and creamy white with some accents of these garden colors like blues and greens and pinks, light, and it just feels so sophisticated and beautiful. And I feel like we just were painting all weekend, and now I'm looking going, oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
wrapping that up and we're letting this old part of their childhood die, right? By covering up this big whale mural and these turtles, we really just kind of went right over the top and let that part of them go. And it felt really, really good. I really enjoyed
Mm.
it. So I think if you guys aren't doing your art, get your art on. Pisces love
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
So we got some
definitely.
transits happening we got to talk about coming up. What do we got starting off the month of March? What's going on?
The first and second, yeah, where the sun in Pisces would be sextile to Jupiter in Taurus. This feels like a really, really nice start. What comes to mind for you?
Well, anytime you put Pisces and Taurus together, I instantly go, well, something needs to feel good, right? Like there's got to be a
Yeah.
feel good energy going because Taurus wants peace, and so does Pisces. Both of them are very peaceful zodiac signs. And then you put
Mm.
Sun and Jupiter together, and you get brightness and bigness and expansion. So we've
Yeah.
got our will and our vitality and our expansion and knowledge and growth of knowledge, philosophical ideas in these Pisces and Taurus energies. So think about how to combine those. It's almost like doing a math problem, right? And then you put them together and it equals expansiveness of making sure things are peaceful and that they really do feel good in your life, whether that's with
Mm.
relationships, with the way you're speaking to somebody, with the way you're eating, with your job, whatever, making sure that there is some sense of humility and surrender that comes with this energy. So what are we contributing to the fight, and how can we
Mm.
maybe pull back to just bring some peace or create some peace
Yeah.
environment?
Yeah. Pisces is also a lot about your ideals. So
Hmm.
Pisces is very idealistic, and having the sun here, we can get wrapped up in this. But with that sextile to Jupiter in Taurus, that Earth, it brings stability. So I feel like from that, we have our ideals, like the sun is shining on our ideals, but we can use the Jupiter Taurus energy then to make something happen in a real way.
Tangible.
Ideals, yeah, and tangibility meeting.
In order to do that, there's got to be some recognition of where you're at, right? And Pisces sometimes can create a cloudiness. So with the sun and Jupiter connected in this easy sextile energy, I feel like maybe that's when the sun peeks through the clouds and helps you really illuminate the things that you really need, the expansive energy of Jupiter and Taurus, what you really need to bring
Mm.
peace to your life, to bring that flow, that beauty, that wrapping up energy that we were just talking about. How do you
Yeah.
bring that to your life? Well, it's hard to see it in the clouds, but on the first and second, the sun will peek through the clouds and shine a
Mm.
light on it so you can create awareness. So if you're doing any personal development classes, I'm actually in one right now. This would be a phenomenal day or 2 days to dive into journaling or meditation work or going out for walks in the woods peacefully by yourself and really just kind of exploring your thoughts, or even if
Yeah.
it's just a 20-minute retreat along the river on the boardwalk, right? Whatever you can do.
On the 3rd of March, Venus in Aquarius will be in a square to Uranus in Taurus. So squares are always a more tension-filled energy where something might feel uncomfortable. And always with Uranus, I feel like that uncomfortableness usually really affects our what's it called, nervous system, because Uranus is, it rules our nervous system.
Absolutely.
And yeah, Venus is like close relationships, also finances, and sort of also like how we value ourselves. So this, I feel like this is going to shake up either like relationships, your self-worth sort of thing. Like you will maybe question again, because also Venus is in Aquarius, that sign that is very revolutionary. It's all about new ideas. So this will probably shake you up, and you will have to look at that, take a little closer look at what you do value
Well,
in
if
your
you
life.
think about this as a flowing energy, so from the first and second into the third, we've got Sun and Jupiter talking and really looking for peace. And then on the third, we've got what we value, Venus, and our relationships. And then Uranus and having this constant tension, that energy, those, essentially the second, third, and fourth is, you're going to feel this. So we've got this constant tension between who goes first. It's like being at a stop sign where there's somebody who's too nice, a four-way stop, and they wave you, and then you go, and then they go, and then it's real jerky, right? Which planet gets energy at that time? That's where the tension comes in. So when this is happening, maybe we have some kind of realization or recognition on the first or second about what's going on in our life and what needs to change. And then the third shows up and we suddenly now take action on it or feel activated in our body, our nervous system, that we need to take action on it. And Venus is that in that revolutionary Aquarius of, like you said, I'm going to rebel. I need to rebel for my health, for my sanity. I've got to get out of this relationship or out of this job or away from this boss or cut off my toxic friend or mother or whoever. This will be the day where there's a feeling inside of, all right, something's got to give. And it's going to be my nervous system and my mental health if it's not the thing where I have to set a healthy boundary. And then I think it's interesting because the next day, the 4th, we've got Mercury, which is in Pisces, now having an easy conversation with Uranus. So again, this kind of is a flowing story here. Now, the next day, our intellect, our logical self, can now speak out these needs that we've created awareness around, that our body has talked to us about, our nervous system the day before. And now the next day, Mercury's like, I got it. I understand. Yes. All right. Let's say this thing. Let's send this email. Let's find this new job.
Yeah. And Mercury being still in Pisces, I think that it will be in a, we will, because Pisces always sees also all of the sides of a story. So whatever we want to communicate is going to be easier for us to actually communicate that in a way that is humble and that is soft.
Yeah, doing so with compassion, sending an email, but gracefully and kindly, and saying, I respect our relationship, but this isn't working for me right now. I'm going to take some time for myself, or I'm going to take a couple months off, or however you need to word it, whatever your situation is, doing so with a kind heart and a kind mind and kind words. I always tell my kids, you can be angry, but you can be angry and still be kind, right? And that's my Mercury and Pisces talking.
Yes.
You really can. You can use it. I'm not saying this is an easy task, but on this day, the 4th, maybe it will be an easier task for you to really communicate out what your nervous system is begging you to listen to. And this shouldn't be an energy, whatever's going on for you this first week of March, really think about your life. This shouldn't be an energy that's new. This is something that's been popping into your conscious awareness for a while. And like we said, Pisces is wrapping things up. So now it's this wrapping up of whatever's been popping in your life that you've been like, I don't want to deal with that right now. Well, now it's time to. Now we got to wrap it up and deal with it, because once Aries comes, if you don't deal with it in the kind way in Pisces, it's just going to blow up with Aries like a wildfire.
I love so much how the signs are positioned. Like after Pisces comes Aries, after Aries comes Taurus, because they're all such. I always feel like the energy that comes after is always what we needed after. We're going from the soft Pisces, then we're going to fire, boom, Aries. Then we're going into sort of softer but like stubborn Taurus energy. We want to start really thinking about the foundations of stuff and like very much like planning and being very like more slow, whereas the sign before we were so fast. I love it. It's like
divinely inspired. It's like there's something bigger than us.
And then the next thing that happens is on the 8th, where Mercury will be conjunct Neptune in Pisces. So this is Mercury again, and Mercury in Pisces, that really energy that wants to understand everyone. It's very compassionate. And Neptune belongs in Pisces. And it's sort of on the last degrees of Pisces, Neptune is. And I don't know for how many more years Neptune will be in Pisces, but once it leaves Pisces, it will be the last that our generation, or like we will see it in this life. So I'm really like appreciative of these years of Neptune in Pisces for us to really feel a little bit stronger, this Pisces energy in the world, because we really need it, this compassionate energy to understand each other and to remember that we're all one and we're all together here and let's share everything.
Yeah, I think it contributing to this consciousness awakening situation that
Oh
we're
yeah.
all kind of
Yeah.
hearing about everywhere. And, you know, the meditation thing everybody's working on, and we're all working on our mental health. I think Neptune is really contributing to that awareness and awakening as it's been making its way through this generation of, you know, as it does. So as we get to the more mature end of Pisces and the higher numbers, right, the higher degrees, that's where we really start to lean into that growth. We've been living through the awakening, and now we are maturely doing something with it. You and I are talking about it on a podcast, putting it out to the ethers, right? People are doing courses on meditation. We're doing the Cosmic Mama Collective to be more consciously connected and aware and healing. Lots of healing. Everybody's talking about healing. Heal your traumas, heal your ancestral everything. Thanks, Neptune and Pisces.
We really need to spend more time talking about Neptune in Pisces. I'm realizing now we need to do that. But yeah, on the 8th, Mercury will be conjunct Neptune. So Mercury is this planet of communications. And Mercury and Neptune, to me, just that is like we're more in contact. We can like into our brains and intellect get messages from our intuition and from, you know, the other world. And now also in conjunction to Neptune, that is representing all of the things that Pisces represents as well. How lovely. A day to spend in meditation or dancing or just being, and you don't have to like, oh my God, just get a pen in your hand, put it to paper and just let whatever comes come, and but put it on a paper so you remember.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is actually happening on my right next to my natal Mercury. It's like a degree off. So I'm loving this, and I have it like written in my calendar. I'm taking notes and circling it. This is very much an intuition turn on day. This is activation of the conscious mind and the connection with the unconscious realm, the spiritual realm, the realm we all understand is there, but we all have different language for, right? If you want to go into the religious sectors, there's all kinds of words for that. If you want to go to the spiritual or what, you know, witch and pagan, they all have their own language for the unconscious stuff we know, we cannot see, but we understand intuitively in our body. This is a day where it's just turned on.
Yeah.
It's like someone turns up the, you know, when you have your phone and it's all the way down on the dimmer and you're like, I can't see. And then you turn it up and your brain's like, oh, thank you. That's what this feels like. And I've been living this for a while. It's very lovely.
Yeah, you have it natally, and you have really been the way that you have been able to get messages and communicate them.
Yeah,
have been really like spiked, like it's really like shot through the
super
roof,
spiked,
right?
super spiked since this has landed. It has been, again, like someone turned up a dimmer switch or turned up the volume on a song where you hear a remnant and you're like, oh yeah, I like this song, turn that up. And then suddenly you're in the energetic flow of that song and you're dancing and moving. That's what this has felt like. But
that's also such a good metaphor. Like we always hear this mumbling in the background. We don't really hear the words, but this transit is sort of, someone turning up the volume so you actually hear the words. But this also could be overwhelming for some people because getting a lot of messages, being more in contact with your intuition. And maybe if you are one of those people that already is very sensitive to other people's energies and to messages, and maybe not with getting messages, that can be overwhelming, and it can be maybe a little bit anxious.
Oh, for sure.
Filled. So just be aware that this is a date when this will come. So either you try and protect yourself from that if you don't want that to happen, or just try and relax into it. It's very fast. It's just one day. Good to know that it's there.
But just one day, just one moment, just one decision can be the catalyst that changes your entire life.
Yeah.
The entire trajectory of your life. So it's one little thing that can really make a difference. In a book I listened to, James Clear, I think is his name, Atomic Habits is the book. He said if you start in Los Angeles and you aim the nose of the plane towards New York and then you don't leave, but then you just shift the nose of the plane just 4 degrees, just 4 degrees, you'll end up in Washington, D.C. So New York City and Washington, D.C., quite far apart from each other, but at the beginning it was just a 4 degree shift. And I think about that a lot because on this day, March 8th, 2024, you may not have anything planned. You might just like, okay, I'm open, universe, whatever you want to give me. And that could be all you need to do. Just be open. That 4-degree shift of suddenly just saying, I'm open to whatever you want to show me or whatever my path is. And suddenly now your life ends up over here instead of staying on maybe the negative course or the, course that wasn't working for you. Now you go to a more aware course or enlightened or spiritual or whatever.
I'm writing this down in my calendar right away because
right?
very soon. This is very soon. I need to remember. And I have a day off on the 4th. So
on March 8th, so Mercury is going to be conjunct that Neptune and Pisces on the 8th. And there's a lot leading up to that. The whole first week of March is this creating awareness around what needs to change in your life, what needs to be let go of, what is not working, so that you may have more harmony and more peace inside of yourself, in your mind, in your finances, in your relationships, in whatever. And the 8th, stay open to a message or a guide or an intuitive hit as to which way to turn or to go straight or to back up or just wait. Maybe it's just be. Interesting start to March. Holy man.
It is. Yeah, but it's great what you said about if you have tarot cards or if you have a pendulum and you don't use them so often. I never really use mine, but this is a good day to ask for a sign. It could be, even if you don't have tarot cards, whatever, you can ask for a sign. You can say, I have this question, show me the sign in the form of a butterfly. If I should do this, whatever. And then you keep your eyes open during the day and you see if you get that sign, So you don't need cards or anything to ask for signs. Yeah. But you can also use cards if you have them.
All right. So now the 9th is a Saturday, and this is going to be a wake up, shake up kind of day, because we've got the sun is going to be sextile to Uranus, which again, the sextile is an easy, fluid, flowing, not difficult energy at all. Just a nice conversation that these two planets are having. So the bright willpower of the sun and the electric changeability of Uranus are in harmony with whatever needed to be changed, right? So that stuff that happened the first 8 days, now on the 9th, whatever needs to be changed, the sun and Uranus are like, yes, we're doing it. Now, Mars is going to be square to Uranus that day. So now the action we need to take, Mars is involved, is going to be causing an internal tension with our nervous system. Whatever needs to be changed, whatever we're wrapping up in our life, Mars is going to go, yes, and Uranus is going to go, and there's going to be this fight inside of yourself. It's okay. Breathe, feel the feelings and breathe. And then that same day, the planet of intellect is scooching over into fiery Aries.
It's going to shoot out of your mouth and you won't, like, Aries, Mercury in Aries is very much that saying without thinking so much, communicating without much thought behind it. Like whatever ideas or whatever opinions you have are going to come out rapidly.
This energy reminds me of like the 3 and 4-year-old who just doesn't, there's no filter yet. There hasn't been anything installed.
Exactly that.
Thoughts, I have these words. These words are in my head. They must come out my mouth, and it doesn't matter where I'm at. They're coming out my mouth.
Yeah. I realized one thing also, and I want to just add that about the 8th, Mercury conjunct Neptune, because I realized I'm flying on this day. And Mercury is communication, how you speak, but also like commuting, traveling. So I'm thinking, traveling, conjunction to Neptune. Okay, that flight might be delayed.
Yep.
It could be one of those days where, like, if you don't need to travel somewhere, don't do it. Neptune fogs things up also. It could be a very foggy day.
I could even see something where like your alarm just doesn't go off and you wake up in a fog and like, what's going on? Oh, I'm leaving today. Oh, I missed my flight. Right. Weird stuff like that.
Yeah. Neptune can fog things up. And in the fog, you can get messages, but you can also, like, it's hard to be in this, I don't want to say the real world, but like the physical world.
On a schedule thing.
On a schedule. Yes. All right, back to the 9th.
It's not the most ideal travel day.
No, no.
So if you are traveling, patience and compassion.
And set like 5 alarms. That's what I'm going to do.
Whew. Well, good luck to you
Yeah.
on that.
Thank you.
And then on the 10th, new moon in Pisces.
So lovely.
So we're calling new stuff in now.
In Pisces energy. I love this. So we just had the last sort of lunar event was a full moon in Virgo. The sun was in Pisces, the moon was in Virgo, and so that tension between that very detail oriented, can be critical thinking Virgo in like a tension to the sun in Pisces who just wants to like be in a dream and like walk on clouds. That was hard, but it taught us a lot of things. But now we have a new moon just to be like rolling around in this Pisces dream filled energy.
Yeah.
And like before we go into Aries, this is like the very sort of last push to sort of weave your dreams. This is a dream weaving day.
I want to just like sit on that image for a minute. And of course, there's a song from I think the 70s called Dreamweaver, and now it's in my head.
Oh, how does it go?
Oh, Dreamweaver. I don't know the words there, but my mom listened to it a lot on the oldie station when I was growing up. So
oldie station. I also listened a lot to the oldie station when I was little.
That's funny.
I love the 70s for music.
Yes. I like the song. It's a great song. Now I'm going to go find it. Go find the Dreamweaver song and play it on March 10th. It's got a lot of kind of synthesizer music and kind of psychedelic Piscean feel. So I feel like I'll listen to that again.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm really, really loving this the Pisces energy right now. I was saying before we started recording that this Pisces season feels very strong, and I said, but maybe it's because Saturn is here. But oh, it was here last year too. Oh no, it wasn't. So this is actually the first year in a long time that for Pisces season, when the sun is in Pisces, we also have Saturn here. So it's extra Pisces energy. And Pisces is all of these lovely things that we have mentioned, but it's also, you feel a lot. And of course, feeling a lot can be tough and difficult and hard. And I've been crying a lot like past week because everything feels so much.
And I've been working on surrendering. That's my thing. It's just surrendering to the now and not necessarily constantly looking forward, which I love to do, but being in the present moment and really staying present to what this moment requires of me and letting go of expectations, which I feel like is quite Piscean when you're in the fog. You can't see far ahead of you. You have to just be in the present, in the moment, and in tune with what the senses are saying right now. I'm hungry right now. I'm thirsty right now. I need sleep right now. I need to art or go for a walk. Those in the moment needs. That's where I've been resonating this last couple days for sure. And that's my intention, is to attempt to stay in that and really just be in this moment and enjoy this moment. Oh, girl.
I've been so much fun in that too, like the surrendering of being in the moment, because everywhere now, like we both live in the northern hemisphere, and it's this like, I can't wait for spring. I can't wait for spring. Oh damn, can't spring to be here soon? But I know Aries is around the corner. It's coming. I don't need to pine for it. I need to be in Pisces energy right now because that's what's being asked of us. So I've really been trying that. Like, okay, I'm not gonna be longing for spring. I won't. I am here, and in Sweden, it's actually been really foggy for the last week, which is so funny because that's so Pisces. It's actually been like yesterday when I was looking out to the water, I couldn't see where the water ended because there was no land after it. It was just fog. Like you can't see anything. So yeah, don't make plans because you just need to be. You just need to surrender. Yes.
Look at us being mature about this. I feel like pat on the back to us. We are growing into this energetic flow of life. Even though natally I can feel this internal urge to plan this, do this, do. And while yes, we are making plans, it's very in tune with the energetic flow, right? Like I'll make a
Yep.
little bit of a plan, but then I'm like, okay, circle back around and finish what you were doing. And then I'll make another little plan, but then it's circle back around and finish. It's
Yeah.
very much just a little bit of future, but then come back to the
Mm.
present.
Like a gentleness around it.
Super gentle.
Mm.
Super gentle. And I don't think people ever really, I don't want to generalize, but I don't feel like our society takes time to just analyze the energy of the day or the weeks or the months that we're in like we do with astrology. We really
Yeah.
take time to go, huh, how have I been flowing? What has been happening? And then go, oh, look it, we are in harmony with the frequencies. I love it.
Yes.
And for the 10th and 11th, the new moon in Pisces, and then the 11th, Venus enters Pisces, it feels so fitting that we stay in this kind of energy field we were just describing,
Yeah.
in that flow.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, oh, I love Venus in Pisces. And then I was thinking, well, I probably love Venus in any sign. But actually Venus in Pisces just feels so soft and gentle. And I think actually Venus is like exalted in Pisces
Probably.
in astrology language. Like it's like one of the best placements for Venus. It
Most
it has
definitely.
its home in Taurus and Libra, but I think that it's like turned up a few notches when it's in Pisces because it's about that compassion, it's compassion and then add Venus into here. Like I'm just thinking about this, like going home to like this matriarchal family where all the like women are just cooking food and it's like take this, taste this food and like feeding you amazing food. Like you get maybe a neck rub and
Where
I don't
is
know.
this place? I'd love to go. Where?
Actually, I was just there this weekend. I was at a retreat this weekend. It was very much like that.
Oh, I think that is exactly what is needed on the 10th and the 11th. Absolutely. Call
Mm,
that in. Call in your sister circle during that new moon. Call in the women energy in your life.
yep.
And then on the 11th, maybe take action and do something, set a date, set a something
Mm,
to create this kind of retreat or gathering, or maybe you just sit and have cookies and drink tea or something with them. It doesn't
yeah.
even have to be what you described, but man, that sounds really nice.
Yeah. And Venus in Pisces is a super good time to get creative.
Absolutely.
Mm,
I think Venus in Pisces for sure is, if I really had to think about an artistic element, right? Where would really the most artistic be? This probably really would be the jackpot of
yeah.
artistic flow and mojo. For sure. If you've been wanting to do an art project or wanting to paint or wanting to do any kind of hobby, the 11th, 10th and 11th, the new moon and then Venus moving into Pisces, I think would be a great time to
Mm,
lean into that, what that looks like
yeah.
for you.
Yeah. And I don't know if we said, but new moons are always good for starting things or for
Mhm.
setting intentions. Like this is the starting energy. So start something.
All right.
Mm,
So we have a couple days of rest to recover from all of the beginning of March and all the change, the healing, not necessarily changes, but I think for sure there's going to be some releasing. There's going to be some, like you said, that death and transition, right? Pisces is wrapping things up. So whatever you let go of in the beginning of the month, and then the 10th and 11th, you call in new energy. Then you have a couple days to allow that new energy to manifest and to be. So just
mm,
the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, just be that whole week. It's the second week of March. Just allow your energy to flow, which is fantastic. It's like you're on your
yeah.
kayak and you're just flowing down your river of life.
Mm.
And then the 16th shows up. And I really like this. This is the sun coming on top and merging with Neptune. So we've got sun conjunct Neptune on the 16th, the 17th, and the 18th. So much Pisces energy.
So much Pisces. Yeah. It really is, and it makes me happy. Like now, when I've accepted Pisces season, it's like, oh, how lovely, more Pisces. So the sun is like our vitality and like life force. It'll be merging. Our life force will be merging with like with our dreams and otherworldly stuff. So this is a great time to continue with that new moon energy and the Venus in Pisces to like create something from your that comes from within, like a project that comes from like your passion, like a passion project, because this will be an easy time for you to to merge your intuition with what really feels good, what's good for you, with your willpower.
Absolutely. And if you were
Mm.
looking for a sign, if you were asked the universe to show you something, this would be a phenomenal 16, 17, 18 to look around for it. Be really aware of what you asked for to show up and be very, very open to it showing up differently than how you expected it to. I
Mm.
feel like I've been on this earth for 41 years, almost 42, and I have learned that things never show up the way you actually think they're going to. Just, you got to stay open to receiving it in a different way than what your
Mm.
human brain can conceive, because spirit has another path, another plan, and a way better perspective than we do.
Yeah.
All right, then the next day, the 19th of March, is our spring equinox, and the sun is moving into the warmth and fire and playfulness of Aries. So put that on your
Yeah.
calendar. That is a Tuesday, spring equinox.
Mm. So that's interesting how the last few days before the sun goes from Pisces to Aries, the sun spends time with Neptune, like really enhancing this Pisces Neptune energy, and then like for that last part of the season, and then it's like, and then we move on to the next chapter,
And we're done. And
and
then
we're done.
we launch into go,
Oh yeah,
take action.
this is the astrological new year.
It is. And I think
Mm.
I wish I grew up celebrating this more. I wish this was more of a traditional thing in my life. And I really love the pagan traditions, and I'm leaning into those a little bit more, where they do lean into the celebrations of the solstices and the
Yeah,
equinoxes.
yeah.
I like that. Maybe we'll do something special with her, celebrate that as a holiday with our family this year.
Yeah, we have this a holiday in Sweden. It's called Valborg, but that's in May. But then it's actually no, it's on the last day of April when we go into May, and then we have a huge bonfire and like burn everything old and dead. But this I feel it would be really great for spring equinox because you burn everything from the last past year and everything that has been and then died to make room for new with
Mm-hmm.
Aries season.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Mm-mm.
exactly what I would love to do, is have a giant bonfire and transmute that Piscean dream
Yeah.
into reality. And I think that's where fire blends between the Piscean realm and the tangible Taurian realm, right? Taurus and Pisces, we've got the dream world and the physical reality. And Aries is the in between. So Aries takes and can transmute something into something else. You can take wood
Mm.
and burn it into ash. And it's the concept of that transformation that I think Aries is super good at, taking that idea and making it into reality. And it's interesting because it is something I've been talented at most of my life and didn't really recognize
Yeah.
as an Aries trait, something I thought everyone could do.
Hmm.
I found out, no, I have a lovely lady that I work with, and she's got, I think, 4 planets in Pisces, and including her sun. And it's a lot. Mercury, sun, all kinds of stuff conjunct each other. And she has so many brilliant ideas, so gifted healer and all of this, but she gets really lost in the putting it into reality. It just misses. It's just not there. And
Mm.
I meet with her and I'm like, oh, I can help you with that. And she's like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's just how my brain works. So I think Aries energy is that go juice of the transformation we were just thinking about into the reality when Taurus shows up.
Mm.
It feels fun. Of course, it feels fun to me. So we've
Aries
got
lady.
the next day, the 20th. So the sun's going to move into Aries on the 19th, and then the 20th, the sun is going to be having a lovely, easy sextile conversation with Pluto in Aquarius. So these two are, I love these two. They're my favorite signs. And this is just that what's next? What are we doing? What are we taking action on? What are we changing? What are we going to transform? What are we doing? What's going on? Right? It's real intense and it's real changeable. So something's going to change on the 20th. If you're not prepared for
Yeah,
that, well, too bad because it's gonna,
because it's happening. Yeah, with the sun and Pluto, and it feels so, of course, like meant to be. That is also right after the sun enters Aries, and you said transmute, and then I thought about this transit with Pluto because Pluto is all about transformation and burning. Like we have, this should be a big bonfire to burn all of the old because Pluto is all about death, rebirth, and transformation. So this equinox is quite active.
very, very
Yeah.
active. We go from just before the sun hanging out with Neptune, really getting in touch with our
Oh my God.
spirituality, our intuition, our artistry, and our flow of really connecting with other people, connecting through that compassionate energy. Then we move into Aries, which Aries, I think when Aries is in a good space, it's a really fun and caring energy. When
Yeah.
it's not getting its needs met, it can be real asshole-ish. But if it's doing what it needs to do and be able to be free and move around and play, it's really great energy. So on the 20th, if you have children or people in your life at all, be prepared for them to be a little bit spastic, a little bit changeable, and energy that suddenly they were working on one project and now I think I'm going to change my mind and go this way instead. It's going to be real transformative energy. And Venus is going to be conjunct Saturn that day too. So we got a
This,
double whammy.
yeah, like these couple of days, with what's happening before the equinox, with the equinox, and then the Sun Pluto stuff, and Venus conjunct Saturn, like this really feels like this is such a good time to let all of the old stuff die, and then we go into the new month. We have a huge bonfire, and things are transforming, and we are with Venus conjunct Saturn more, in contact with how we need to mature in our relationship with our self-worth. Like this is such an active time, and whenever there's an active time, there's of course, it can feel a lot, so it can feel like a little bit of a struggle as well. Like Saturn energies, you feel them quite often, even though now it's with Venus, so it's softer, but Saturn and Pluto, they can feel a little uncomfortable, even though it's like easy aspects,
Mm-hmm.
because they bring so much change and maturity.
Absolutely.
But whatever comes after, it's like a growth spurt going through. Like I see these couple of days as a massive growth spurt.
Honestly, when I'm looking back at the whole month and kind of what we talked about at the beginning of the month with that first week where you really take a look and feel into what isn't working for you in your life, whether it's the way you're doing your self-care, if you do any self-care, whether it's the relationship you're in, the job you have, your sleep cycles, right? We should probably talk about sleep because Pisces is a big player in the
Yeah.
sleep realm. So if you had those conscious awarenesses in the beginning of the month, then the 20th, 22nd, 24th, 25th, all the rest of the month this is where you really will want to, I think, take action and make those changes, especially the 20th with that sun in Aries lighting up this new placement of Pluto in Aquarius. It's really shining a light on it from a new angle, right? It shined a light on it conjunct when Sun went over the top of Aquarius. And now it's having its first transit from a different angle, new perspective. And Aries is a new perspective. It is that transmutation from the Piscean realm into the tangible Taurus realm. So this is where you're going to want to take action and make changes. And Venus conjunct Saturn is your values on top of the planet of maturity and do the hard work. So again, I'm seeing this as a month of massive self-care transformation and personal development work. If you are in any kind of thought process of, hey, I really need to make some changes around X, Y, and Z in my life, March is when you'll want to do it. For sure, take action on awareness, calling in what you do need, listening for that answer, and then actively making those changes.
Yeah. And it just makes so much sense, because now when we're in Pisces season, we are feeling everything. So this is a great time to observe your feelings, observe what's coming up, and then after we go into that go energy, or make those changes.
Yeah. And now the 22nd, Mars is going to trek right into Pisces. So again, now we have the action planet moving into the sign of, well, we're going to do the healing. We're going to let go. We're going to transform. We're going to be in the realm of the feeling. We're going to do the work by taking action on allowing.
Yeah. And Mars has been coming from Aquarius, where our drive has been a lot to, had to do with like technology, revolution, new ideas, and like AI stuff, like robots, like that sort of stuff. And now, I don't know if you noticed, but it's been very like that. And now Mars, like our drive as a collective, as a, the whole globe, we're going into Pisces. Like our drive will be, like compassionate. Also, like with Pisces, it can be very much like you find some kind of spiritual leader that you start to follow, like your drive. It can be like a rise with like religious groups. So that's also a thing with Pisces.
You want to know who my new spiritual, not new, but spiritual leader has been recently?
Yeah.
Oprah.
Oh.
Oprah Winfrey. I have been just consuming her Super Soul Sunday podcast. And right now I'm listening to her series she did with Eckhart Tolle. His book, A New Earth, they did 10 sessions and 10 podcasts, kind of recounting each chapter of the book. Whew, girl. It is opening up parts of my mind and my heart and my intuition that I knew were there, but now it's becoming conscious. It's becoming conscious. It's like pulling it out of the closet and going, oh yeah, I did have that in there. Thank you. I was looking for that. It's so nice. So I'm really digging all of the stuff on the Oprah Winfrey Network and what she's putting out. She really is becoming a massive spiritual leader and a conscious awakening, conscious awareness person. So I really I'm digging that.
Nice. Yeah, with Oprah, I've kind of like have this feeling that she might become president in like a couple of years or something.
I would vote for her. She totally could.
Yeah.
I would vote. Do it, Oprah. So I think that is an interesting energy with Mars moving into Pisces. I'm so curious to hear from others and see what they're experiencing when Mars goes into Pisces. He doesn't like Pisces. This isn't a sign Mars is like happy about going into. So if we, need to have compassion for anything, it's having compassion for our poor planet Mars here, who wants to go, but you can't go very fast in the fog. You have to slow down. And he gets irritated with that. It's real irritated. So have some compassion for your drive and ambition on starting on the 22nd. And remember, Mars takes 4 years to go through the zodiac. So this has been a while since we have felt this energy. Think about 4 years ago, guys. That was right as the pandemic.
Oh my God.
It was literally the 22nd of March is actually, I'm pretty sure my niece was over and she just found out that her school had gotten canceled. And I thought that was ridiculous. That was just the start of it.
Wow, that's so Mars in Pisces.
This is almost 4 years to the day since, Mars, the globe started to wake up to what was happening. And we don't have to talk about the politics of it, but we just know that this event happened for whatever purposes and reasons. And we need to be aware of kind of what happened. Mars in Pisces slows life down.
Yep.
Don't be irritated with that.
Yeah.
Be okay.
All right. So let's see what happens now when Mars enters
Super
Pisces.
curious. Super
Yeah.
curious. All right, the 24th, we've got Venus having a lovely conversation with Jupiter. This is the 24th and the 25th. It's a sextile. Anytime these two get involved in a conversation, it's always yummy and juicy. Even if it's a
Mm.
tension-filled conversation, it's still fine. So these two are lovely when they come together. Use this energy to your benefit. 24th and 25th. Put that on your calendar. We've got just flowing, easy energy between our values, money, relationships, and good luck, expansion, philosophy, good fortune, all of that.
Mm. And the next day we enter, well, actually a little time, a little bit before this, but on the next day, on the 25th of March, we have a full moon, a lunar eclipse, actually. And this is the first eclipse event of the season. And the eclipse season always starts a week before the first event. So a week before this, we're going to start entering this eclipse season. And eclipse season always brings unexpectedness to the table. So, and a full moon is already an emotional time. And this being also an eclipse, it will be an even more sort of emotional day. And it will bring up a lot of stuff to the surface. Like everything comes up to the surface. So just be observed and don't plan too much for this day. Just sort of try and go with it. We have eclipse season at least twice a year, and it's very, very sort of evolution. Like we see where we're going as the people. Like it's very much, it has that sort of faded energy to it. So see what comes up during this full moon eclipse. It will be for sure something to let go of. Like something will come up that you need to release.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be a very emotional time.
This will be a full moon in Libra, as with the sun in Aries. So this is the access of the I and the we. I am and we are. And thinking about those concepts. And again, if we go back to the concept and theme of March for personal development and, you know, really leaning into your values, this would be a full moon where we recognize what I need versus what we need, and where have we been giving too much of ourselves to someone else or others in general, and where have we been depleting our own self and giving from an empty bucket, and what do I need. So this is a great time to really evaluate that. So with the theme of March, personal development March, that's for sure. All right, we got the 28th then, so you've got a couple days to recover from that full moon. And then the 28th, Venus and Uranus are ending the month with a sextile conversation. So they started the month not in a good conversation with a square that's tension filled, and now they're ending the month resolving their difficulties. So, guys, that's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for having an energy flow that is more harmonious with our values. So now I feel like we've gone through the month and we've really evaluated and explored what our needs are. And now the 28th is kind of this, it feels like a resolution energy. It feels like our nervous system is calm and our values are aligned and everything is in harmony that day after we've gone through the exploratory energy of March.
Yeah. And coming from that sort of explosive energy from the full moon lunar eclipse on the 25th, then on the 28th, yeah, with Venus sextile Uranus, you can accept those new changes, like make those changes that are more in alignment with what you value in your life, what you want to have in your life, how you want your life to be.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's really a great entrance into the next day, the 29th, which is the best day ever.
Yeah.
And it's my birthday. So that day, you can all send me some happy vibes.
Yeah.
That will be my 42nd start of this existence. So I'm excited for it. I'm really enjoying my 40s so far. Really enjoying it. And this will be my first year from now on out to not be pregnant again. So yay. We're gonna close that down. And
Yep.
I'm excited because it really feels like a closing of like a chapter, a really big chapter. Because I had my 41st birthday, and then less than 2 weeks later had Felix, and now this year has been my postpartum year while I'm learning to figure out who in the heck I am as this mom of 5. And now I get to do all of this personal development work with all of you this month, right? And we get to explore what my needs are, what I'm not doing right for myself or for my best self, and how I can work on that, and then end it with my birthday and starting a new solar return. It just feels like I'm like, yes, I can do this.
Nice. So that means that for your solar return chart, you will have Venus sextile to Uranus in that chart.
I'm excited. I've seen this.
Yeah.
And it happens to be Uranus and Jupiter happen to be hanging out in my 10th house of career and contribution.
Oh, wow. We're going to be seeing more of you.
And Venus will be in my 8th house of transformation. And I was like, I smell money changes. Yes, please. Thank you. And please.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming. So I think this will be a really very, very healing year for both my husband and I when it comes to healing that financial wound that we've been tending to for so long. And now it starts to really do some deep tissue healing work as we are adults and have always had kind of financial scarcity energy, and we're done with that, and we've been really doing the inner work, and now we are looking forward to seeing it manifest in an outer way. Yay, that feels good. Well, thanks for exploring March with me. I know we were really excited about February when we did that, and then February came and we were like, maybe not.
Yeah.
But I think it's nice that we do transit readings that are realistic but more optimistic focused. We bring in a couple negative things here and there, but mostly we're like, here's how you can work with it to the best of its abilities. And I think that's something that we both benefit from, individually, and then whoever listens to us hopefully benefits as well. So I enjoy doing these
because energy is neither good or bad. Energy just is, and then we are the vessel that decides how to use this energy, what we're gonna aim it at.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. And you know how to like and share and subscribe and all that stuff. Share this with a person that needs this. Maybe you've got a buddy who's really struggling and they need to understand what's going on. This might be the thing to help them. So send this over to them. We would certainly appreciate it. And we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Ram and Goat Astrology. You can support the show by buying us a coffee or a tea. Link in the show notes. Your financial support means the world to us. Join us next time.